Welcome into another edition of the Josh Caray Show. My guest this week is Trash Pandas infielder Jake Munroe, the former Louisville standout. He joins me this afternoon. Okay, Jake, first off, thank you for taking the time to join me. Just easy peasy, let the people know where you're from and where did you grow up?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm from Champaign, Illinois, and I grew up in Champaign.
Tell me about your folks. What do they do for a living?
My mom's a high school math teacher, and my dad does HVAC. So two blue-collar people right there.
Yeah, well, let's gotta ask, and I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. Where does the athleticism come from? Who gave you the athletic bones in your life?
My dad. He still plays basketball to this day.
Really?
But I would say most of it probably comes from my mom's side. Mom played tennis, coached tennis, went to state. Uncle's 6'6" and 6'3". Just always competing, still compete to this day whenever we go, ultimate frisbee, pickleball, tennis, whatever it may be. So I have to give a lot of credit to my mom.
Okay, well, all those people you just mentioned, did any of them play at the collegiate or the professional level, whatever sport it was?
No, actually not. They were all really good high school athletes, but they're probably even better students, so they went on to do great things in college for them. Yeah.
Any siblings?
I have a older sister who lives in the Bahamas. She was on the Bahamian national softball team.
Wow,
which is pretty cool. My dad's from the Bahamas, so I have most of my family on his side over there is in the Bahamas. And then my brother, an older brother, who he kind of played every sport growing up. He stuck to tennis in high school, but he kind of taught me a lot of things when it comes to sports, so it's pretty cool.
Well, it sounds like your family is pretty spread out when it comes to sports. I mean, you got softball, you got basketball, you got tennis. Mm-hmm. Who was the one who turned you on to baseball, or was there anyone who turned you on to baseball more than any other?
I actually didn't want to play baseball.
Really?
When I was really young. I was in love with like basketball and soccer. And so when baseball season came around, my best friend's dad was just begging my mom, like please, like you gotta let him play, like we need him, like he could pick a number, he could just play, and eventually I just gave in. Mm-hmm. So a lot of credit actually goes to my best friend's dad for getting me into travel ball, and then just had the most fun playing baseball ever since then.
Well, okay, so you got to give him his name.
Steve Hall. Yeah, Steve Hall. Carter Hall is my best friend growing up. We trained together all the time, but his dad did some good convincing to get us going in baseball.
So because of, I don't want to call it, I guess, a late start in baseball, but growing up, did you watch baseball? Was there a player that you were sort of interested in, who you sort of model your game after? I mean, when did you start watching the game, not just playing it, but also watching it so you could refine your skills?
Yeah, after that, started watching the game, and was a big Boston fan growing up, just Boston sports. Ray Allen was my favorite basketball player. Loved Dustin Pedroia. My first glove was a Dustin Pedroia model glove. But my favorite player was David Ortiz.
Okay.
And I can't really say I model my game after him. We kind of do different things in terms of what we do in the box. But he was my favorite player growing up, and those Boston championships were pretty cool to watch.
Okay, well, so here's the big question. You're saying you're a big Boston guy, but you're from Illinois. Mm-hmm. How do you become a Boston guy?
I have no idea. I think
you're wearing a Bears shirt right
now.
I'm
wearing a Bears right now. My love for Boston sports has kind of faded as the years gone on. But I have no idea where it came from. I kid you not. I just remember being in love with watching the Celtics and cheering on the Red Sox, especially when they won in 2018. So, but since then it's kind of faded.
As a kid in school, what type of kid were you? Were you quiet? Were you the class clown? Were you a jock? I mean, how would you describe yourself as a kid?
I would say I was always the kid that was. Man, I did a little bit of everything. I feel like I was always joking around, having fun. But my mom, being a math teacher, always took school super serious. Took sports super serious. But I knew how to have a good mixture of both.
Mm-hmm. When did you start to realize that you had a little something different over everyone else your age, at least when it came to baseball?
Yeah, I would say probably in middle school. Started to realize that it seemed like it just came a little bit easier for me. And this was at a time where obviously we were just kids having fun, but like didn't really have to try at all, in a sense, like put in like the work. And then when I got to high school, I realized like baseball is going to be my future. And I started to take it serious, and then it became the mindset that even if I am behind like some people, I just always felt like my continuous work will get me ahead. Luckily it's all shaped up to what it has been now. So
When you were in high school, obviously you're playing baseball, but did you play anything else during that time? When did baseball become the primary focus?
yeah, I played basketball my first 2 years of high school, and then I was on the JV team, my JV basketball team my sophomore year, and I was doing workouts with my trainer, who just absolutely just changed my career. But at the time, I was just doing workouts once a week, just to stay ready for baseball season during the basketball season. And they asked me to join the varsity team, and it was the first time I felt like I had to choose, because now my schedule would be slammed with JV and varsity practices, and I felt like I would have to push out baseball practices at that time. And I chose to just stay on the JV team and keep training once a week with my trainer to get ready for baseball season. And I think that's the first time I sacrificed another sport for baseball. And then going into my junior year, I decided to stop playing basketball and focus strictly on baseball. And the coach hated that decision. But he still texts me to this day how proud he is of me, and that he's so happy it worked out for me.
It's an interesting decision to make. Let's face it, baseball is a very regional sport. And obviously the Chicagoland area, they love their major league teams, but when it comes to amateur baseball, it's a little tricky because obviously the weather is not very good. You don't play as many games. So with that said, being in Urbana, how long did it take or what obstacles did you have to face to get as many games and get as many reps as a lot of kids do in the South and out West?
Yeah, it's a lot of work in a warehouse.
Yeah.
I felt like a lot of time throwing into a net by myself. It was funny coming out to Arizona. It was just so bright. Like when I stepped outside and was playing every day, I was like, oh my God, this is what the sun feels like again, because I'm just getting my work in a warehouse, and not a whole lot of space, but you kind of just do what you just handle what you have.
Yeah.
And for us, I think that also puts a different chip on our shoulder when it comes to baseball in the Midwest, is that there's a different quote unquote grind to it. It's a little different than people who train in the South and can be outside, the 365 days of the year.
You leave high school. Tell me about the recruiting process. Were you getting any scholarship offers? Were people talking to you? Was there any interest, or was it hard because, face it, you weren't playing as many games as maybe some other kids?
Yeah, it was definitely, I think it was tougher than, probably kids down south for me. I would say I was a good high school player, but I wasn't exposed at all. So for me coming out of high school, I only had junior college offers. I had, Johnny Logan, which I ended up going to.
Right.
And then Iowa Western, which is another great JUCO in Iowa. And then Heartland, which is in Bloomington, which is another great D2 JUCO. But it really came down to three schools. I felt like I only had maybe 5 or 6 JUCOs reach out to me. A few of them were great, which ended up working out. But in terms of recruiting, I was in, again, the Midwest, indoors a lot. Not until my junior year, I went to Chicago and started playing summer ball on that circuit and playing with better people, playing against better competition, where I started getting recruited. But at the end of it was just those JUCO offers that I had.
So you go to John A. Logan, which is in Illinois?
Yeah, Southern Illinois.
Southern Illinois. So you're there, you do your 2 years, and now it's time to be pursued by a 4-year school. Who was talking to you? Obviously you wound up at Louisville, but who was talking to you?
A lot of schools. I would have to go back and look at.
Wow, really?
The list at a JUCO. Yeah, I had a good freshman year at a JUCO, and then I ended up getting. I think it was for me. It really came down to Illinois, and Louisville. I only took one visit to Louisville, and I went into the office and they showed me the Omaha video.
Yeah.
The team's going to Omaha, and I just fell in love with what I saw. And it was enough for me. I didn't need to go see any other school. Louisville, as a Midwest guy, was the dream school in terms of baseball. It just felt like, oh my God, that guy committed to Louisville. I felt like that was the school for a Midwesterner to go to. So in that room, I kind of just committed on the spot.
It makes sense to people who are in the know about baseball why you would go with a Louisville over a Illinois. Nothing against Illinois, but
Yeah.
I'm sure being from Champaign, you got some flack for that. Did you hear any blowback from that, choosing to leave the hometown to go to Louisville?
Yeah, one of my, a good family friend, his dad works in the athletic department. I know he was a little upset with that decision. Not really upset, but he really wished I could have came and repped the orange and blue. But I thought my dad would be a little bit more upset. He's a big Illini fan.
Yeah.
But he was just so happy that I was making that decision, and he just wanted me to go to the best place that I thought was possible. So
Yeah, 1 year at Louisville. What was it like down there, and how hard was it getting acclimated to ACC pitching?
it definitely was an adjustment. I come in the fall, and it's me and another guy competing for the third base spot. And it's funny because the first scrimmage we have against Purdue, I think a month into the year, foul ball, I go to make a catch. I catch the ball, my legs hit the tarp, takes my feet out from under me, I land on my shoulder, and then I'm out the entire fall.
Wow.
So I probably missed another 50 or 60 ABs. I think I only got 10 ABs that fall that the coaches could see me. Missed 50, 60 ABs that I could have had if I played the whole fall out, and was just spent that whole time rehabbing up until early January. So it was tough at first, like just mentally, just going about that, understand that I'm fighting for a job and I can't fight right now. I have to just do like some mundane rehab and watch other guys go out there and compete and fight for a job. So that was really tough. But luckily, when we started our early spring scrimmages, was able to swing a hot bat early on, and the coaches still had so much trust in me, faith in me, and I was able to win that third base job opening day. And then my goal from then on out was just to not give it up.
Yeah. I mean, you go to a place like Louisville, and I forget, did they go to the College World Series that year?
We did go to college.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. What was that like? What was that experience? Just not just getting to Omaha, but the process of the regular season, conference tournament, regional, super regional. Any memories from that really stick out to you?
Yeah, it was just we went into that year just with a different chip on our shoulder as a team, because obviously and from the Midwest, like I knew what Louisville baseball was about, but in recent years, like the program was struggling, and there were times where they were fighting like right around that 500 mark. So to be able to get over that hump again and dogpile was absolutely amazing. And it's not like it was like just an easy road there. We were struggling near the end of the year. We had a good regular season to get us a bid into the NCAA tournament. But, we lost first round of Pitt in the ACC tournament. We flew to Pitt, and I think because we lost first round of Pitt, he made us drive back. We were in North Carolina. He made us drive back to North Carolina, from North Carolina to Louisville, I think just to let that sink in a little bit that we just lost to Pitt in the first round. And we had lost some series going into the ACC tournament. But when selection day came around, we were put in number 1 Vanderbilt's regional. Wow. So we had to go to Vanderbilt and make it out of that regional. And I just remember, we get there and we played Vanderbilt early on in the year, and we beat them at our place. And so we kind of just knew, like going into Vanderbilt, like they don't want to see us here. They're the number 1 team in the nation, but they don't want to see us here. And it was true, and we handled our business in that regional, and so lucked out that we got a super regional in Louisville, because Miami I think was the 3rd seed in theirs. They came out and won. So we hosted a super regional versus Miami to go to Omaha. And I just, the most vivid memory I have is walking out of the clubhouse we have and just seeing Jim Patterson Stadium packed.
Wow.
The berm, the seats in the outfield, all filled. And had not experienced that all year. I knew something special was going to happen that weekend just based on how Louisville showed up for us.
As you get to the end of that season, you have this magical run, and you go to the College World Series, and all these great memories. I know you're being pursued. You're thinking about a pro career. You're thinking about making some money. But after going through all that, was there any thought, maybe I want to come back for one more year and just play a senior year and see maybe if we can get a national championship? Did that ever cross your mind?
Honestly, no. Just because obviously like going professional is obviously the dream.
Yeah.
And to me, it felt like obviously we wanted to go after that national championship, but going to Omaha and experiencing that and kind of like the ups and downs I went through in my 1 year at Louisville, I felt like I kind of got the D1 experience out the way. And I knew that I was ready to start my pro career.
So the Angels come calling. I forget, 4th or 5th round?
4th round.
4th round, okay. First off, does it amaze you that 3 years ago you are at John A. Logan College in Southern Illinois, and 3 years later you're the 4th round pick for a Major League Baseball team? Does that wow you? Does that ever blow your mind a little bit?
Yeah, to this day.
Yeah.
To this day.
When the Angels came calling, what did you know about the Angels?
I knew people gave them this reputation of being a team that moved guys quick. And obviously, at the big league level, I've been struggling the last couple years. So, people were like, a lot of people were excited, like, oh my God, like you can move so quick, this, that, and the other. And to me, I wasn't too worried about that. I've been trying to say from the beginning that I'm more, just trying to fall in love with the process. Just trying to fall in love with coming to the field every day and other relationships I make, just getting better, and then just seeing where that takes me. I never rushed the process in my life. I went to JUCO for 2 years before going to Division I. I've waited. I've sat there. I've worked in the darkness, literally in warehouses for my baseball career. So at this point, I'm still not going to rush it. I'm going to take my time. Respect the game and just let the outcomes happen.
Everyone wants to talk about hitting when it comes to professional players, and you're 300-ish hitter right now, and obviously you're very good at that. But I think the thing that stood out to me about you is your defensive ability. Where did you learn to play a good defensive third base?
There's so many people going back to Champaign. My trainer Joe Yeager. Sestak is another guy in Champaign that we spent a lot of time playing defense. Coaches both at Louisville and John A. Logan. But for me, that was something that people were biggest question marks around me in college. Actually coming into the draft was how I was going to play third base. And then how well the third base was going to look at the pro level. And I just remember, one of my phone calls with the Angels was just me telling them like I'm ready to prove people wrong. And then they just built such a great support staff. We have such a great infield crew that kind of just builds you up with confidence. Teach you the skills, the little things. And now it's kind of a result this year as I'm playing some of the best defense in my life, and a lot of credit goes to them.
You talk about the process. It's been a quick process, right? You played, I think, 10, 11 games at Inland Empire. You spent half the year at Tri-City this year. You're already at WAAY ball. How do you feel the process is going right now?
To be honest, I think, again, I keep mentioning my trainer, but we kind of had a plan, and it was almost in a sense is to spend a year at each level, kind of learning each level and going about it and using the minor leagues the way it's kind of supposed to be used is each level you learn, you grow till you outgrow it and you get to the next level and that process starts over. So I was expecting fully to spend the whole year in Tri-Cities this year, and I was committed to it, and I was looking and I loved the team, and I was bought in. I wasn't like looking at the exit every single day, just waiting for the call. So I mean, it's really cool to move quick. And trust me, I'm not going to tell you no if
Yeah.
you try to promote me. But
Nor should you, by the way.
yeah, but I'm not looking at the exit. I'm just committed to where I'm at, where my feet are. So
Cool. Well, thank you again for your time. I just have a few quick questions before I let you go. Number one, your favorite baseball memory.
Favorite baseball memory: my dad throwing to me in the Little League Home Run Derby.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Your biggest goal you want to accomplish other than getting to the majors?
I just want to be a good husband. And, luckily this All-Star break proposed to my girlfriend, so I have a fiance.
Congrats.
So just looking forward to building a life with her.
When's the wedding date?
We have no idea.
Okay.
I think trying to plan a wedding during the baseball season may break my mental ability, so I think I'm going to look into that in the off season.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Last question. There will come a day when this all comes to an end. You're going to have to walk off the field as an athlete for a final time. So when that's all said and done, what do you see yourself doing?
I'm going to take classes this year back at Louisville.
What classes? I'm sorry.
I am I forget my major. I know it's a bad look playing baseball, but it's exercise physiology.
Okay.
I just want to see I want to stay around sports. And just kind of be on the medical side of it. Whether that's being a sports doctor or not. That was the goal in JUCO. So we'll see how that works out. But I'm not scared of that day to come. In a sense, I think as long as I keep playing and give this game everything I got, even if I come up short, you just want to have no regrets at the end of it.
That was Trash Pandas infielder Jake Munroe. Thank you for joining me on the Josh Caray Show podcast. We'll see you next week.